And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. First, let me say thank you to all of you for your beautiful birthday wishes. It was an amazing day yesterday. But now, back to action. All right, so hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share because the insanity, again, doesn't stop. Now, mind you, since Trump took office, GOP town halls have been high-stress events. It got so bad that the National Congressional Republican Committee literally told their reps to stop holding town halls. Proof? Well, last night, Representative Mark Alford from Missouri, well, he held a town hall, and trust me when I tell you, it got heated. One of his constituents told him to get his head out of Trump's ass. Play the clip.
You talk about half-truths when I listen to you. You know nothing about taking care of children because you've always had a really good paying job. You know nothing about what a working class citizen does. Come down here. Come down here and start trying to pay your medical insurance. Come down here and walk into Costco to try to feed your family, to feed your kid that's moved out, to feed your great-grandchildren. I had a very good job in California, and I'm able to feed my family, and it goes all the way to great-grandchildren. You're not helping me. Believe me, you're not helping me. You need to take your head out of Trump's ass and start doing your representation of us.
Yeah, he's right. Now, mind you, how many times have you heard me say they're not playing to their constituents? They don't even care about their constituents anymore. It's all about appeasing Trump and the administration. Now, look, I talk a lot about going into these purple areas, and the clips that I want to show you in this video prove that there is a movement happening. It needs to grow, though, which again is why I ask you, help me to build this community. We need to capitalize on this. So share this with family and friends. We need to capitalize on this. Now, mind you, the same constituents called Trump a dictator, and they pointed out that Representative Alford knows absolutely nothing about the farmers in his state. Play the clip.
I would appreciate you taking your father's U.S. Constitution book, read it, study it, make your own lines underneath it, and get Trump out of office. The man is a dictator. He knows nothing about what he talks about. I listened to him for about a half hour today, and I got sick at all the lies he brought up. Now, I'm about ready to lose my farm. Do you know why? I'm sure you don't know why.
Lose your what, sir?
Farm.
Farm?
Yeah.
Why is that, sir?
Because Missouri does not have wills. They have trust. They have legal zigzags. And a trust, most people don't know anything about. So I'm dealing with a state that's a crooked state, doesn't care about what farmers happen. The only reason why we have farmers today is because the federal government funds them. How much money of our tax money goes to farmers? Farmers work very hard, but they're funded by the federal government, not by selling groceries. That's what Foster Farms and all of those characters, that's where they get their money. The price of steaks, $20 a pound, because of big business. You want to straighten out the budget? Start taxing corporations and the wealthy, like we've been telling you. Do you think we're idiots? Do you think we don't pay taxes? Do you think that we don't have to make budgets?
No, you do. And I've been saying this now for how long? As long as I've been doing this program. Meanwhile, Representative Alford received a lot of boos, and rightfully so, while talking about immigration reform. Play the clip.
We don't have all those yet, but we do have for the most part, a secure border. We can't start working, and we could not start working on immigration reform until we fix the hole in the boat. And that's what Donald Trump did. He fixed the hole in the boat. And so now we can start looking at some of these programs.
No, that's not what Trump does. I know Trump. I know Trump a lot better than you, Alford. Okay? What Trump does is he takes a legitimate fear of crime, immigration, chaos, whatever, and he hammers it like a blacksmith until his audience believes that he is the only strong man who can restore order. And the problem with the Democrats, they roll out pie charts. They give long speeches. They give dissertations. Nobody's interested in that. Mind you, a different constituent got up and he asked about Medicaid and Medicare. Play that clip.
A couple of comments, which you don't have to respond to, but I'm going to. You talked about abuses in the Medicare and Medicaid system. I found it interesting that the president pardoned someone who defrauded the Medicaid system for about $1.3 billion. I find that curious.
Yeah, the guy who he pardoned. The guy who Trump pardoned last go-around, $1.3 billion Medicare and Medicaid for it, not to mention Representative Tim Scott. But let me just give you a quick one, an understanding that I have versus others. What Trump does, he seizes the reality and then he weaponizes it. He does it incredibly well. He doesn't sweat the legal details. He signed, for example, an executive order eliminating cashless bail, something that he probably didn't even have the authority to do. But it doesn't matter to him because the headline is what matters. Headline, Trump ends cashless bail. The message he was sending out was clear that I care about your safety, not about legal technicalities. Instead, again, what are the Democrats doing? They're giving speeches. Meanwhile, another person there in that audience asked about Russia and Ukraine. Play the clip.
I just wondered if you had shared with President Trump that Vladimir Putin was the aggressor, because he keeps saying that Ukraine did it, and we all saw what happened, but he continually lies and lies and lies.
I've never heard President Trump, and maybe you have that on file, I've never heard him say that Zelensky was the aggressor in this. Did he say that? I don't believe he has. I don't have a close personal relationship with President Trump where I can go in the Oval Office and say, look, President, I hope you know that that Vladimir Putin is the aggressor in this. I think the world knows who is at fault in this and that he can't have another apple in his cart, so to speak, that we have got to push back against Vladimir Putin. Now, you may not agree with how President Trump is going about this negotiation process, and I understand that. But I have never seen 6 European world leaders come to the White House in my lifetime, and I'll be 62. I don't know, has anyone else seen that?
Yeah, who cares? Let me be very clear, you idiot. And shame on everybody in that audience. All you had to do is Google it. April 15th. 2025. There are dozens and dozens. I would have said, hey, Representative Alford, you got your phone on you? All right. How about plug in this? Trump blames Zelensky for starting war after massive Russian attack. BBC, Huffington Post, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post. Oh my God. That happens to be the name of the title. Trump blames Zelensky for starting war, April 15th of 2025. Donald Trump is again, not for the first time, again blamed Volodymyr Zelensky for starting the war with Russia, a day after a major Russian attack killed 35 people and injured 117 others in the Ukrainian city of Sumy. All right, you didn't hear about it? Seriously? Let's put the old man back on with the mustache and tell him, take your head out of Trump's ass. Maybe then you'll hear it. Meanwhile, the National Guard and ICE, they came up, and Representative Alford managed to make it about Biden. All to stay in line with Trump's talking points. Play the clip.
Quit letting him get by with unconstitutional items such as arming national guard.
All right, Fred, we're going to give the mic to somebody. Where's the mic? But I do want to answer this because Fred brings up an important point that I knew we would get to tonight, and that is the National Guard. You've seen on the news what's been happening. This started in California when Immigration Custom Enforcement was sent into California. ICE, yes sir, ICE, that's what it stands for. Immigration Custom Enforcement was sent into California to arrest and deport, eventually, through Homeland Security, criminal illegal aliens. And so they were, that's what they did. And others who are here illegal, other illegal aliens. Primarily it started out with criminal illegal aliens. But look, Joe Biden has let 12 million illegal aliens into our sovereign nation. I think putting a lot of strain on our services for Medicaid and for Medicare.
You see how weak that audience is? Well, there may be 50 people talking to this idiot. You need 5,000 people. And every one of them has to go door to door and say, this guy's got to go. Again, this isn't about Trump. Please understand that. This is about Trumpism. It's about these people that have their head up Trump's ass, that they don't care, as this elder man said, about the people of Missouri. They care about their job. They care about placating what it is Trump wants. Meanwhile, Representative Alford also spoke about SNAP benefits. Play that clip.
Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. It's supposed to supplement. It's not supposed to be a full meal 3 times a week, 7 days a week. 3 times a day, 7 days a week. It is supposed to be a life vest and not a lifestyle. And there have been abuses in the system. There are facts out there that I have seen. Even the Secretary of Ag, Vilsack, testified before this, our committee and the Ag Committee, that there's $34 million a day in waste, abuse, and fraud in the system. That needs to be fixed.
Okay, but the way you fix it is you don't cut it off. And what are you going to do? You're going to let people go hungry in America? According to Trump, the greatest country in the world, which, by the way, we are, the greatest country in history, we're going to let other Americans go hungry? Now, look, let me be clear. This isn't the only instance where a GOP MAGA idiot, all right, has gotten booed. Earlier this month, I showed you Elise Stefanik was literally booed off stage. Play that clip. Yeah, boo. Meanwhile, Wyoming Representative Harriet Hageman also got booed while defending Trump's tariffs. Play that clip.
Who's responsible for establishing tariffs in our country?
Well, right now the president has taken that authority, but I imagine when we go back in September, we're going to be talking about that.
Why did he take that authority?
You're going to have to ask
You
him.
guys gave it to him. The House of Representatives are responsible for establishing tariffs. You gave that to him.
What an ass. You're going to have to ask that to the president? No, stupid. You're standing there on stage. Again, let me remind you, look at the poor turnout. This is what we need to change. Okay? I say it a million times. We need to be those people in the audiences, in town halls across this great nation of ours. Meanwhile, Representative Mike Flood, he too got booed, and rightfully so. Play the clip.
It talks about 2 big changes to the Medicaid program. One of those changes is that if you are able to work and you are able-bodied, you have to work. If you choose not to work, you do not get free health care. You do not get free health care.
Yeah, meanwhile, imagine. Because he won one election, he has free health care for life. He has a pension for life. The system is all wrong, and we, as a community, need to fix it. Join me in this journey. Hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share. And as always, Thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.